Falsely thoughts, race, life's a twisted place. No time to erase.
I appreciate you all. We're going to go ahead and bring up the next guest. EJ Smith, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. Are you over 18 and do you disagree with anything I have on the board?
I am. I haven't read all of them yet. Let's see. True holy books are not evidence. I would. Yeah, I would. I wouldn't say I fully disagree with everything. I think there's some contextual things that need to be addressed in them, but yeah, in general.
All right, sure. What do you disagree with? And let's go ahead and talk. What do you disagree with?
Well, I want to start with at least two of them look to use phrases like great or good. So are we supposing that there is an objective target, right? If we're going to use words like great or good or bad, worse, better, all those kind of descriptors, then we're presupposing that there is a target, right?
I would say the target is equal opportunity and treatment for all of its citizens. Sure.
Right.
No matter their race, religion, creed, color, sexual orientation, or gender identity.
Right. So, but if we're going to set a target, we have to ground why that target is good, right? Like, because we're humans, right? Me and you are both like the same. We're equal.
Mm-hmm.
And if I just say that that's not the target, like if I say there is no objective target, we're all going toward maybe a heat death or something like that. If I were to say that.
Well, I said what the target is already. So.
Yeah, but if I say the target is different, then we're just at an impasse because we're equal. We have equal standing.
Well, then we have to talk about why is your target greater than my target?
Well, that's what I think my ultimate point is that no human sets the target for ultimate good or evil or purpose.
Okay, so
the creator of the universe sets that target.
What are you talking about? We're talking about America was never great.
I know, right? But to be great,
right, so none of that has anything to do with anything I'm talking about. Why do you if you think if you disagree that America was great, tell me why?
Well, because if I make the target that greatness is becoming independent from another nation and conquering new land or taking land, like I could make great. If great is subjective, I can make the target whatever I want, and then therefore
okay,
I can
so
make
what is great to you?
Great.
Okay, so what is great to you?
Okay, so if I say great is overtaking land for the betterment of your people and giving yourself independence from another kingdom, for example. Let's just say I say that. Then America conquered that objective, so therefore they're great. That's why the statement's not really it's not a good claim.
All right, cool. So if you're thinking that just making yourself independent and conquering someone else is what makes greatness, what conquerance entailing anyone else? Does it conquer genocide and slavery?
It doesn't have to.
Okay, so how do you conquer someone else if you're not gonna take out the people?
I mean, that's been the typical human behavior. I mean, I think there are potentially other ways.
I asked you how to do it without taking out the people. How do you do it?
Well, you can just go relocate them.
Yeah, that's genocide.
I didn't say kill them.
Right,
oh, you
no,
said genocide, not genocide.
That is part of genocide. Removing people from their indigenous land is genocide.
Yeah, sorry, I misinterpreted for genocide. Sorry.
No, no, it is, but you can't use that word on TikTok. But that's what it is. Yeah,
no,
that's part of genocide. Removing people from their lands because you're gonna have to eliminate them in order to do that.
Yeah, but I don't have a dictionary in front of me, but it has to be. You also have to be part of that group. So genocide can't be an external person coming in and doing it. It has to be an internal source, right?
No.
Can we? I don't know if I can get off here and look at the definition. Can you look up the definition of
what Mustache Man wasn't part of the group that he went after, correct?
Nationality, yes.
Yeah, he was part of the nationality, but he was not part of the ethnic group.
Yeah, but
so an external person, right? So an internal no, that doesn't. Doesn't have to be a common nation. Doesn't have to be common anything. It has to be two different groups.
Then what's the definition? Because that's how it's always been used. There has to be a common, like you wouldn't call it genocide if we or genocide if we went to India and just slaughtered a bunch of their people.
That is
That would just
genocide.
be how.
Genocide
I've
is
understood the definition for a very long
genocide
time.
is the deliberate destruction of a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. Like deliberately destroying them. So if we were to go to India to deliberately
Oh, so you
destroy
have
a
to-
certain
so you
caste
have to
system,
pick a common
it's
group.
genocide.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
I don't think it's been used in that.
Yeah, it has. That's how it's done. I actually read you the definition from the Geneva Convention. So it's internationally recognized as that. So if we were to go to India and remove Indians and eliminate Indians for deliberately like targeting Indians territory to eliminate them, that would be genocide. And
Yeah, so what
America has done.
Palestine-
And America has done. Yes, what the Star Nation is doing to Palestine is genocide. That's exactly what they're doing.
And
But,
what Palestine did to them on October 7th or whatever it was would be the same thing.
if they're deliberately trying to eliminate people, like eliminate the entire ethnic group,
Right,
then yeah,
they've
that
been
would be if they're trying to completely eliminate the ethnic group, then yeah, it will be genocide.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing I don't disagree that's a negative thing. My point is that if the target is subjective, then your claim can never be non-refutable
So
because I can just change the target.
yeah, you can change the target, but that's just moving the goalpost, isn't it?
Right, but there's no way to make the goalpost like object like
Yeah,
Like, game-
we can just keep asking questions. How is conquering people great?
how is conquering people great?
Yeah,
Because
How is
it gives
how
me
is
more
eli-
power. I believe it's great to have power, and say I
Right.
say that.
So eliminating groups of people is greatness because so eliminating women, children, and innocent people is great because you get more power. That just makes you an asshole.
Sure. Right. And I'm not saying those things are not. I don't think they're not true. What I'm saying is, if you're of the opinion that there's not an objective truth, right? And that's what I'm trying to get at. Do you believe in any kind of objective truth?
No.
If you don't, then it really doesn't. Like, we're literally just two humans moving the goalpost back and forth, and there is never going to be it's a constant, like what we have, what you're seeing, and all the history you're talking about is the reason, because this group of humans decide to do it now. And then they're like, that was a bad idea. Let's not do that. Let's do it this way. And then
Okay,
they
but so
change it
what?
and do it that way.
Okay, so what?
What I'm saying is that something like genocide is inherently evil, regardless of who did it, why they did it. No human.
I agree. I agree. So where are we going? I really don't understand where we're going in this discussion. What are we talking about?
I think you should. It doesn't seem
you're,
like
you're saying that just because like I don't believe in like objective morality, therefore I can't say America was never great. I can still make value judgments.
you can make one, but it doesn't make it like, for example.
Yeah, it doesn't make it absolutely true. So what?
So then you're just having discussions with people, which is fine. I mean, if that's ultimate, but then there's no purpose in any of the discussion.
Yeah, there is. This the purpose is to understand each other and see what I mean by America was never great, and see why you think it was, and for us to come to a conclusion. If we understand each other's position better, then we can have a fruitful discussion and try to get somewhere as a better, like try to get to a better society. But if we're just saying, oh well, you can't prove objectives, therefore there's no discussion. What are you here for then?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I say whatever I say with whatever goalpost I want, and we can never come to a conclusion, like me and you, as two separate people, then there is no way to go to better, because to define better, you have to have a common target, right? Like, is it better to be on this side of the water or that side of the water? Y'all are going to have to conclude that I like it over here better because the sun comes up and it doesn't, whatever the thing is.
What we'll have to see is which one of our targets is more effective for all of society, because we're not just living on islands. We're living in a society. So what is better for our society? I don't think conquering people and committing genocide is good for our society, because not only are you eliminating a whole group of people, but you wouldn't want that to happen to you. So just pure common empathy will tell us that's not a good thing to do. Now, if you disagree with that, you have to tell me why do you disagree with that?
Well, I think empathy does, but I think that points toward objective truth. But the problem is that that's a subjective standpoint. Like, I would say we've benefited.
Okay, but
you
who
may not like
cares?
it. but we've benefited from it. And so,
Yeah, but it was still bad. Yeah, I benefited from genocide because now I live in a first world country, but it was still a bad thing to do.
right. So the only way you can like correct it is just to give up the things that you've gained from it.
Yeah, we should do land back.
Right. And then like,
Yeah, the Native Americans
Just-
should get reparations.
and well, no, they can just leave. Everybody can leave that doesn't like it,
No,
I guess.
the Native Americans shouldn't leave. They were here first.
Well, then everybody else could leave if they don't like it. Like
Great.
you'd have to go. How do you turn back the clock? That
You can't
many
turn back
times-
the clock, but you
that
can
many
rectify
events?
what you've done. You can't turn back the clock, but you can rectify what you've done. If I punch you in the face, then I can't turn back the clock and unpunch you in the face, but I can't give you an apology and rectify the situation of what I've done.
Right. And if I didn't harm you, why would I rectify the situation of something that 4 generations ago did?
We're not asking you to fix anything. We're asking the government.
But the government's funded by the people here. Government doesn't
Yeah.
inherently have money.
And whenever the government, thanks for the hat and mustache, y'all. And whenever the government has damaged the community, they've always fixed it, right?
I wouldn't say always fix it.
They haven't always, but when we pursue
There's
for
been
them to
attempts.
fix it, whenever we pursue for them to fix it, they have, correct? Like they did with the Japanese.
And yeah, right. But I wouldn't say we haven't fixed it at all. It's not like we just left it alone.
Right. So what I'm saying is that whenever a government, if the government does damage, are they not responsible for fixing it?
I mean, yeah, I guess in
Right.
In
So
general,
the
that's
government
true.
was responsible for damaging the African American community. Why shouldn't they fix it?
well, there has been work to fix it,
Like,
like all of the civil rights movement.
yeah, civil rights, and then what else? Because like black people were African Americans weren't just politically and socially damaged; they were also economically damaged. So what are they
Right,
gonna do about the
but-
economic damage?
Right. And is part of that economic damage self-inflicted or not?
No,
No.
black people did not come up with redlining. That was the government.
Right. So like so I've seen some like research on this, but I've not dug into it deeply, so maybe you have. But like why is the family unit so different among that community say now than it was in the say 30s or 40s?
Because women
What
could
caused
divorce now, when women could leave abusive men now.
Right. So they were always abusive. There was always an abusive relationship, but they can leave now.
Right.
Is the difference?
Right.
So
The family unit had to stay together because women couldn't own bank accounts back then. Like the
Right.
family unit looks different for all of us, not just for all demographics, not just black people.
Right. Of course. Yeah. Like what I think there's more self-inflicted damage than being accounted for. I'm not saying there's not been policies or things put in place that have hindered a certain population at times for different, spans of time, but to say that there should be some kind of blanket reversal of something without any accounting for any personal decisions, right? Because like
Like what?
you, like for example, like if you're talking about poverty, like poverty is not does not
You
have
think
like ethnic lines.
Do you think poverty is a systemic issue or just a personal moral failing?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think there's elements to both. I don't think it's purely systemic, but I don't think it's purely like you can make the right choices and get a bad break in life, right? Like some kind of medical thing or just bad, series of events.
And or you can be born into it and have poor education and therefore you end up being a poor person.
Right. What I'm saying is that I don't think that has ethnic ties fully. Like I don't know how
it does.
how much rural, maybe Kentucky or West Virginia you visited, but
No, it's happened to them too. But poverty in this country has always been tied to race because black African Americans were purposely made poor, like on purpose.
it's not always been tied to race because otherwise there wouldn't be poor white people.
No, there's
or
poor
poor
white.
Hispanic people.
No, there's poor white and Hispanic people. I'm not doubting that. What I'm saying is that for African Americans, it was purposely made that way for them to be poor, purposely.
In what way? By the redlining and stuff that you're talking about?
Redlining, by Jim Crow, by giving them less resources and education, etc.
Yeah. Which some of that has been fixed with like, which I guess it recently got overturned with the affirmative action stuff.
Yeah, affirmative
But-
action didn't overturn redlining. Like redlining is still affects the community. All right, we're about to run out of time. We're at 15 minutes, but I do appreciate you being up,
All right.
EJ. All right,
No problem. Have a good night.
have a good night. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all being here. We have 8.5K likes, 6 people up.